Okay, greetings, citizens of the 2014 Internet. This is the Reverend Dr. Francis X. Carmody of Veritasia Ministries, and I am about to make a very, very, very radical product proposal. Okay? I think I'm ready to make a preliminary finding that should support everything else, including all of the confidential details that I've been holding back, okay, in the interest of protecting those people who have chosen at one level or another to become clients to Veritasia Ministries and our ultimate program. Okay. My job as the Chief Executive Officer of Veritasia Ministries, ladies and gentlemen, is to attempt to resolve any ethical conflicts between one of my clients and another of my clients at whatever level of internet presence they happen to have at a given point. Okay? Now, I am going to without getting into the background, I'm going to state here and now that I'm willing to stake my life, if necessary, on the whole idea that I have a physical address like anybody else. Okay, I have an address in meat space that needs to be protected. I have certain ideational biases that need to be protected if I'm going to operate as an ethical human being. But there's a problem with our human biases, ladies and gentlemen. The problem with our human biases is that nobody seems to be able to come up with a standard for what is, for example, real spinless objectivity on information. Okay. Now, if you hang around YouTube for long enough, you get to the point where you understand how YouTube functions as a close approximation of how science models this. Because YouTube gets to play around with spin all the time. Okay. All right. Here is the problem. I started out the game with, let's say, the assumption that, you know, I'm the aged old grandmother who just came online yesterday, and I was trying to deal with basically the whole problem of where does one find the forces of evil? Why is it that the internet is so hard to, to invoke according to our own individual desires? That's what we as individual users want from the net. And most of what we get is this giant vacuum sucking sound where basically all our money is going into the net and very little is coming out of the net. And, basically when money does come out of the net, it serves what? It serves what are called special interests today. What is generally meant by a special interest is an interest that has enough money backing it to do a full-scale, I would call it a planet-wide media bot. Okay? So, let's assume that the overall objective of my company is to try and restore as much individual freedom of conscience and individual freedom of thought as possible. I am going to propose to my colleagues in Google that they work with rather than against 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their best known competitors as far as planetary positioning to come up with default neutral browsing technology. Okay, I'm not suggesting that the current information providers that have their position in the Internet's military-industrial megaplex should give up that position. Not at all. Okay, what I am saying is that there are a lot of holes that are capable of being filled if one takes the position that it is more productive to be cooperative than to have an adversarial relationship. Now, there are certain systems, such as the system I have been calling hard paper law, where an adversarial relationship is simply built into the structure of the system. It has its own purposes, etc., etc., etc. Without giving away any proprietary details, therefore, I'm basically calling for what might be known as a no-default browser that an individual could use to browse through all 4, 5, 6, 10 of the mega frames in the current internet.
Sign
What? Sign victimization for what exactly?
This is for everything. Sign.
Everything being what exactly?
Medical. Food stamps.
Okay, so the entire victimization system has now reacted to us. Okay, so I'm going to. It says agency signature, so that's not.
Right up across from mine.
Okay, that's okay. I got it.
Oh.
Reverend Dr. Francis X. Kermode. Okay. Now, here are the terms for obtaining any of my proprietary data. If you want to work on a Veritasian project, it needs to carry a Veritasian label. Okay, I will need the legal establishment of my company to be without question. I will need the resulting contract for my company to be worth not less than $6 million to Veritasia Ministries. Okay? So the question is, who wants to grab what piece? Because I'm saying I cannot move. Okay? The lords of Google have got to help me. And I know they can help me because of what was done just a few months ago in terms and conditions being changed within Wikipedia.
That phone call you got was cancellation out for Margaret.
No, it was not. The phone call I was trying to get done today, love, was to mycleanpc.com, and when I told them how many password issues I was having with so many different browsers, they said that I had to contact Google. So I'm contacting Google and saying, advantage Google. It is now your move. Anyone within the Googleplex may now react to anything in this video. Okay? I require a minimum of not less than $6 million for this contract to execute. Okay? Find it yourselves, gentlemen. You have the access. All right? Reverend Dr. Francis X. Carmody, signing out.